o'clock, I will call a regular meeting of November 7th, 2016 of the Beavercreek Township Trustees to order. And the first order of business is the Pledge of Allegiance.
To the flag of the United States of America, and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Do we have any additions, modifications, or deletions from the agenda?
Next forward under the administrator, I'd like to add Township, Green County Township Association December meeting dinner. That's all I have.
Make a motion to approve the agenda as.
Second.
Any discussion? Mr. Roberts?
Yes.
Mr. Krebs?
Yes.
Mrs. Graff?
Yes.
Make a motion to approve the November 9th, 2016 payroll in the amount of $264,550.35.
Second.
Mr. Roberts?
Yes.
Mr. Krebs?
Yes.
Mrs. Graff?
Yes.
Make a motion, excuse me, make a motion to approve the bills in the amount of $68,675.64.
Second.
Mr. Roberts?
Yes.
Mr. Krebs?
Yes.
Mrs. Graff?
Yes.
Make a motion to approve the minutes of the regular meeting held October 24th, 2016.
Second.
Mr. Roberts?
Yes.
Mr. Krebs?
Yes.
Mrs. Graff?
Yes. This is the part of the meeting that we open the meeting to any citizens who would like to address us on any of the issues in the town. Seeing none, we have the old business listed, new business. Mr. Harry, if you're going to be doing that.
Yes, thank you, Board. On page 4 of your packet is a draft proclamation for Veterans Day. As you know, the Employee Recognition Committee met to discuss Veterans Day. Last year, we recognized all our employees that are currently serving in the military or veterans of the military. This year, the committee decided to also recognize sons and daughters of employees who are either currently in the military or veterans in the military. I do have a complete proclamation there for you to read and sign.
Okay. Mr. Roberts is going to read it, Mr.
Yep.
Cassidy.
With that being said, it's my honor to read the following proclamation in the record in honor of veterans employed by Beavercreek Township. Whereas on November 11th, 2016, Beavercreek Township will observe Veterans Day, pausing to honor every veteran who has ever worn one of our nation's service uniforms. And whereas we pay tribute to our veterans, we are mindful that no ceremony can repay the debt we owe each and every day for their service to our country. And whereas each time our freedoms have come under assault, our veterans have responded with resolve, courage, and a willingness to sacrifice. And whereas under the most demanding of circumstances, in the most dangerous corners of the earth, America's veterans have served our country with distinction and valor. And all veterans deserve our gratitude and praise for their selfless acts and for the duty served to our great country. And whereas on this day, Beavercreek Township wishes to honor employees of the township who are veterans and or are currently active in military reserve unit, namely Micah Blanton, Army, Steve DuBois, Air Force, Sean Fowler, Coast Guard, Eric McComas, Army National Guard, active reservist, Rob Negree, Navy, Ben Northrup, Air Force, John Ostrowski, Air National Guard, active reservist, Doug Ransdale, Army, Jeff Terry, Air Force, Bob Trieber, Army. Also, whereas on this day, Beavercreek Township also wishes to honor employees of the township whose sons and daughters have served or are serving in one of America's military branches, namely Jan Schultz, Son Michael Ross Schultz Navarra is a Marine Corps veteran of 2 deployments to Afghanistan and a recent recipient of a Purple Heart. Lieutenant Steve Weimer, son Marshall, is a Navy veteran. Lieutenant Ed Miller, 2 daughters on active duty. Eileen with the Army and Lindsay with the Navy. Firefighter Scott Gladney, son Chris, is a Navy veteran. And Lieutenant Brian Siebold, daughter Brooke, and son Troy both served with the Army National Guard. Troy is also with the Army ROTC at Ohio University.
Second.
Now therefore be,
Vote roll.
Oh, sorry. Mr. Roberts?
yes.
Mr. Cripps?
Yes.
Mr. Graff?
Yes.
Mrs. Graff?
Now therefore be it resolved that the Board of Trustees of Beavercreek Township, Greene County, Ohio extends its heartfelt gratitude and best wishes for success in their future endeavors to these employees and their sons and daughters who have served so well. And further be it resolved that we urge all citizens to pay due respect and gratitude to the veterans for their sacrifice and service to our country. In witness thereof, we hereunto set our hand and cause the seal of Beavercreek Township to be affixed this 7th day of November 2016.
Thank you. So you sign this. Flexible spending accounts?
Thank you, Board. It's that time of year to discuss the flexible spending account. We had some discussion at the end of last year, but due to the timing of notification of a benefit change, we wanted to make sure we had plenty of time this year. We are recommending to continue with the flexible spending accounts. Ms. Gustafson's here to answer any questions about the account, as well as Ms. Schultz will answer anything in regards to the fiscal office.
When will the sign up be?
Well, we have to have the documents completed by January 1st, but if we move forward, I usually have meetings in my office mid-November.
Do we have increased static or less participation?
It remains about the same.
About the same.
Did you need a motion, or we just, since we're not discontinuing it, just assume we're continuing it?
We are continuing it.
I make a motion to continue the
Okay.
flexible spending.
I'll make a motion to continue the flexible spending account policy that we have in place
Second.
and practices that we have in place.
Second that also.
Mr. Roberts?
Yes.
Mr. Cripps?
Yes.
Mrs. Graff?
Yes. Thank you.
Thank you, Board. Next item is on page 6, is to set the holiday schedule for 2017. You have a resolution in your packet, as well as a hard copy here.
I find it amusing that the holidays change over the years.
Yes, per the Ohio Revised Code, we are to offer the employees 10 holidays a year. In this case, it gives us flexibility to move some of the holidays, and we are moving and recommending to move Columbus Day, much like we do every year, for the day after Thanksgiving. So that's why you see on November 23rd and 24th of 2017, we'll observe Thanksgiving.
I understand that. Growing up, we had different holidays.
Yes.
Do I
With that-
have?
with that being said, I'm
Okay.
Make a motion to approve the 2017 Township Holiday Schedule as presented.
Second.
Mr. Roberts?
Yes.
Mr. Cripps?
Yes.
Mrs. Graff?
Yes.
Thank you, Board. On page 7 of your packet is a draft policy, the service retirement. We discussed this earlier. This is very similar to what we did with Lieutenant Melanie this year. That was discussed to make it a township-wide policy. And here, the policy is in draft format for you to review. It encompasses everything we did with the fire department and Lieutenant Melanie's. Are there any questions?
I have not, everything appeared to be consistent with the policy, so, which is what's important.
Thank you. I just need a motion to approve the service retirement.
I'll make a motion to approve the service retirement policy as presented.
I will second that.
Mr. Roberts?
Yes.
Mr. Krebs?
Yes.
Mrs. Kraft?
Yes.
Thank you.
Thank you, Board. Next item starts on page 10. This is the lengthy part of the packet. This is the job descriptions under the new format that we've discussed for throughout the year, a little bit last year, and then finalizing this year. All the changes are marked in color. I apologize, some are in yellow, some are in red, some are in purple, depending on which department made recommendations and changes. If there are no changes on there, then there are no changes in the job description.
Are we to presume that any changes that were highlighted in a different color have been implemented into the policy that you're presenting for approval?
They are recommended changes for, yes,
Okay.
yes.
There's no other changes?
No, there's no other changes other than what's in color.
All right.
Anything that's in black with no is what's currently in the job descriptions. Most of them, like for example, the two from myself, we just did last year, there's no recommendations on changes on those, so that the entire document's in the new format. If there are no questions, I would just accept the motion,
Accept the
job descriptions as presented.
Which job descriptions?
I would just list them all.
Yeah.
Okay. Make a motion to approve all the job descriptions as presented.
I would say including, and amend that to say including township administrator, public safety director,
Do we have a list?
They're all.
human resource manager, zoning administrator, inspector, zoning clerk, information technology operations manager, road superintendent, foreman, mechanic 1, mechanic 2, service worker 1, service worker 2, service worker 3, chief, deputy chief, battalion chief, lieutenant, fire prevention specialist, career firefighter, EMS billing coordinator, office manager, part-time fire prevention specialist, privacy officer,
Mr. Roberts?
Yes.
Mr. Krebs?
yes.
Mrs. Kraft?
Yes. I just want to emphasize that in most of them, it was just the format that was modified to be uniform throughout the book, along with the job descriptions.
Thank you, Board. On page 71 is the sheriff's monthly report and year-to-date analysis. I apologize, we didn't have a bi-weekly report. The person that usually sends me the information is on vacation. So next week next meeting I'll have two before period for the bi-weekly. I did talk to the sheriff's office. We've had, as well as the city, a rash of cars being broken into in the neighborhoods. They are out doing extra patrols within the city and the township. They are targeting vehicles that are unlocked. So it's been 2 weekends in a row we've seen some activity on it as well. So other than that, there's really no unusual activity to report. Are there any
Is
questions?
there any pattern to where the break-ins are taking place?
In the larger, more populated neighborhoods. Yeah, where people
Park on the
can
street.
walk from car to car and check them. So the sheriff's out there, as many people as they can talk to, reminding them to make sure their
Cars in the garage?
cars are locked. If they leave them outside, make sure that they're locked.
Could you, just maybe do a little social media blitz to, remind folks
Absolutely.
to themselves or their children to lock their vehicles, be diligent during the holiday season.
Yep.
And not to leave any
No,
valuables that are visible.
Sure will.
thank you.
Thank you, Board. Next item is to request a special meeting to discuss the park consolidation. Staff, myself, Mr. Parks, have met with city staff and the Beavercreek Township Park District to review the agreement from 12 and we've recommended several changes on it. We do want to make the first presentation to the elected officials, starting with the township trustees. I do recommend we do it November 14th, and I would recommend an early morning
How long
meeting,
how long do you see this meeting will go?
maybe an hour.
Okay, but you have a 12 or something, do you have to be, what, at your office or?
That's how we had planned it. I mean, I could
Okay.
be here if that makes something easier.
Well, I just want to know the thing.
Morning, we could do it whatever is early as possible, whatever's convenient for the board. obviously. The afternoon is difficult, I know, there's a lot of conflict, but we also have the wellness.
I can do either 8 o'clock or I can do any time in the morning, or I can do the hour before the. If we want to.
I would prefer first thing in the morning. I have the wellness at 10:30.
Yeah, first thing's fine.
Okay,
8
that's
o'clock?
first thing.
8
It's
o'clock.
first thing,
9
7,
o'clock.
8, 9, 10.
Yeah, I can be here at any time. How long do we anticipate?
I wouldn't think more than an hour.
9?
So, yeah, 9?
Agreed.
Thank you, 9 a.m.
Okay,
on
9 a.m.
14th.
We're gonna notice that as a special.
Yes, there'll be a special meeting to discuss park consolidation. We do have a draft agreement to present, as well as a PowerPoint presentation, which will be short, just explaining the process and what staff went through to get where we are. The city plans to do their presentation on, I believe, the 16th that week, and a work session, and then potentially, depending on any recommended changes from either the township or city council, those will be incorporated and then for a vote, either at the end of the month or first part of December, with the park district being the last. They don't need a work session because they've been attending the meetings. So they will probably vote on it, at the December 13th meeting.
The wellness meetings are here.
Right. It'll be before.
No, it's from 9 to 1.
Oh, is it 9 to 1? Could we do it 8 o'clock?
8 o'clock?
Yeah.
It's fine with me. Whatever makes Mr. Roberts.
What time? We could meet in a different room. 8 o'clock?
Eight works for
8
me.
o'clock's fine.
Hopefully I can get my assessment moved up.
You're welcome.
Tomorrow I will be someplace at 5:30 a.m. That doesn't mean that,
Well, we're doing later than that.
that doesn't mean it's
You can
the
work
thing
lunch.
to do,
Thank you, Board. Next item is the addition is the Township, the Greene County Township Association December dinner meeting. It was discussed a couple meetings ago to potentially, Ms. Aaron's brought it up about potentially co-hosting it with Sugar Creek. I have talked to Sugar Creek, and they're willing to allow Beavercreek Township to co-host. I do have a motion, however, because there was discussion in the past about limiting it to a certain dollar amount. So I have a motion there just authorizing me to not spend up to or not to exceed $1,000.
I'll make a motion to authorize the township administrator to share the expenses of Sugar Creek Township for the December Greene County Township Association meeting and dinner not to exceed $1,000.
Second.
Mr. Roberts,
Yes.
Mr. Krebs,
Yes.
Mrs. Graham.
Thank you, Board. Next item is on page 91 of your packet. It's the Mutual of Omaha renewal for accidental death and life insurance. Ms. Gustafson's here to answer any questions. There is a motion on page 95. It is a 0% increase.
That's the standard. That's the 10 for everything.
Yes, we've had a 0% increase for third reading.
Any questions? I make a motion to approve the Mutual of Omaha Life and AD&D renewal as presented with a 0 increase for planning year January 1, 2017 to December 31st, 2017, and to authorize the township administrator to sign for the board.
Second.
Mr. Roberts?
Yes.
Mr. Krebs?
Yes.
Mrs. Graff?
Yes.
Thank you.
Thank you, Board.
Thank you.
Page 96 is the biweekly report for HR. I will note on page 97 is the life insurance information that was asked a couple meetings ago. Discuss that as well.
Looks like workman's comp is catching up to last year.
We're getting there.
We don't have to be in competition.
Senior?
That is done, now I get to finish our handbook. So the collective bargaining agreement has been signed.
Okay.
And how long will a handbook take, or do you do that?
I have 10 hours, they've approved 10 hours, so I will work as much as I can in 10 hours. and
You can do
then
that
I'll
under
rest.
whatever time you flex to do it, and you don't have to do it there.
Alan mentioned that if he had it completed by the end of the year, he would be happy, so that gives me time in between projects that we completed.
I think from our standpoint, it'd be clean if we could be finished with it by the end of the calendar year.
You could be finished
And
with it.
bill them complete, but that's, we don't have to care.
That's our goal.
And receive their money.
Yeah. That's our goal.
It would be easier to receive the money. Any other extraordinary things we need to be aware of? Thank you.
Thank you, Board. On page 98 of your packet is the zoning department's biweekly report. Are there any questions for Mr. Aaron?
Looks like things are slowing down.
Although I do have,
Homes are slowing down, we don't have anything else.
excuse me. I do have 3 more house permits on my desk and a permit for a commercial accessory building as well as a number of other minor permits. So who knows, maybe this Indian summer we're experiencing has inspired folks to do some stuff. But, we should finish with a small margin ahead of where we were last year. And we're not gonna hit the projected numbers that I thought we would at the beginning of the year. And I think that the main reason for that is that the new subdivisions we expected to open up in the fall are not gonna be ready until the spring. So
The next year should be about.
Spring
I
should be.
would think so. We're gonna have over 100 parcels, buildable parcels come online early in the building season next year. So, we're not gonna lose anything. We'll at least keep it where we are now.
I'm not sorry that it's not going up so much. There's a point where you don't want it to grow too much, and nicely, it's even and doesn't go out of bounds. But it's nice to see, you're keeping track of it, and I know you're busy with other things going on also.
Where are we at, with regards to highway overlay district?
We put that on the back burner when we realized we weren't gonna get the track money last year. And the administrator and I just recently talked about resurrecting that effort now that we have a pretty good picture of what's coming down the pike for Route 35. It was about, the effort was always about flexibility, but we also thought we had to know what's gonna happen with 35 in order to know what we need to be doing. So we haven't forgotten it, but it's time to revisit it.
And maybe we just need to remind people that there is a regional planning seminar the first Friday in December.
Thank you, yes. We've sent out some reminders, and all public officials are welcome, others as well. The annual planning and zoning workshop sponsored by the Regional Association of the Regional Section of the American Planning Association. It's at St. Clair College on the first Friday in December this year. That's the 4th, I believe. And the cost is $50, and that's the zoning department budget will happily cover.
It's the second.
Second, is it?
December 2nd.
Okay. It's always the first Friday of December, and it's an all-day section of presentation of workshops with a nice sit-down lunch. And the professional development is, opportunities are among the best in the profession in the state of Ohio. I've attended a couple of other regional day-long annual workshops like this, and the one done here is far and away the best in the state, as far as I'm concerned.
When is the RSVP date?
I'm sorry?
When is the cutoff for the RSVP?
I don't remember. It would be in an email to you from the zoning clerk that she sent out last week.
Okay. Ms. Brown is the one.
And I
she-
believe it's coming soon, but it hasn't passed yet.
I recommend it.
So come spring, we anticipate having river reserves, Nathaniel's Grove, having buildable lots ready to sell or already sold.
Early in the year, I'm not sure they'll be recorded first thing when the weather breaks, but it won't take long into the construction season for that to happen. And then we anticipate that probably work on section 2 in each of those would start quickly thereafter.
And then you have the Claiborne expansion potential, Liberty expansion.
I've discussed the next sections, 2 additional sections in Stonehill Village with engineers. The next section of what we're calling for the moment Liberty Hill 3, a 45-acre section that could have 130 homes in it. And then MI Homes is in negotiation to gain control of another 60-acre portion directly south of Liberty Hill 3 on the east side of Trayvine Road. So that east side of Trayvine Road could have 100 acres under construction by the end of the year next year.
Thank you.
Thank you, Board. Next item is on page 102. It's a purchase request, upgrade to a Time Warner internet connection. The body cameras for the sheriff's office are in, but we need to increase our internet speed so that it can, when they dock the cameras, it can upload to the third-party site, download the material. They've already used the camera once in Beavercreek Township. There was a stop on US 35. There was a complaint by a citizen, not a township resident, but the person that got pulled over, made a claim against our township deputy. They went to the device, reviewed it, and found that it was an unsubstantiated claim. So this would allow them to connect back to the server and download the information. This is still cheaper than what we were paying, as the board will recall. We did have a T1 line dedicated to the sheriff's office, which was about $8,000 a year, I believe. So this is still less than the T1 line that we had dedicated to the substation. There is a motion on page 102. Mr. Terry's here to answer any additional questions.
Okay, so I'll make a motion to approve Time Warner Cable's upgrade agreement as presented, not to exceed $1,320 annually for a 2-year term, and authorize the township administrator to sign for the board.
Second.
Is there sufficient? How will this affect the police fund? I'm assuming it's, the levy's gonna pass tomorrow. So we shouldn't be involved. That's my assumption, because the service has been good, and I think the people in the township appreciate the service that they're receiving. But one never knows when there's an election taking place. Are we still in good shape with this, with the budget? If there's no increase?
So for this year, the increase, we are fine for what's budgeted for this year. We will adjust 17's budget that we're currently working on now to anticipate that cost. If the levy fails tomorrow, then we'll have to have a greater discussion on the overall contract with the sheriff.
Okay.
Yes.
Thank you. Call the roll.
Mr. Roberts?
Yes.
Mr. Krebs?
Yes.
Mrs. Kraft?
Yes.
Thank you, Board. Next item is the biweekly report. Are there any questions for Mr. Terry?
I have none.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you, Board. Next item is a purchase request for a new cab and all the equipment associated with a new dump truck. And the purchase request and justification, budget justification starts on page 116. Mr. Parks is here to answer any questions. This is a budgeted amount, and also I'll point out it was evaluated based on the NOVAC scoring system in regards to replacement policy, so it was budgeted last year based on that.
I appreciate the putting it in the format, as Chief would call it, 16 points of light. The timing of the request was the only thing that I had a concern over, if we should defer this until after we know the outcome tomorrow, or if this is an opportunistic buy that we have to cancel.
Actually, this purchase was in my schedule budgeted for first quarter. Because some of the other ones, it's got pushed off to fourth quarter.
Understand?
I feel very confident that money is in the current budget to do this. Because you can tell basically by that scoring chart, I actually should be replacing two, but I'm just going for one now, and we'll do one a couple years down the road.
Is it an emergency buy?
Depends on how much money we want to keep putting into the current ones we have.
Will the current one last 2 more weeks?
You can hold this off for 2 weeks, if that's what you're.
I'm just asking.
How long does it take to get something in, once we have ordered?
If we would order it today, the chassis would be in February, so you're probably looking at end of March before we see the vehicle.
Okay, which means that it wouldn't be available for the,
This winter season.
the winter season in any case. And how long is the ability to purchase under this price?
The cab and chassis will go till March, I do believe. I have to go back and look, that's kind of what pushed us off this year, because it ran out. And the NJPA contract goes through 18.
Okay, so if we put it off for 2 weeks, as Mr. Press's suggestion, it really doesn't impact our winter season or the ability to have these prices available.
No, it does not, by putting it off for 2 weeks.
In concept, I agree with you, they should buy it, it's just from a timing standpoint, I prefer both.
Well, two things we made in all of our levy promises were continue the same level, if not more, road resurfacing and capital equipment. And this is one of those that we're trying to fulfill. I mean, we can put it off for 2 weeks and bring it back. I just don't want to put it off for the first of the year and then get lost in the shuffle.
So if you would, I think the consensus, put it on the
That
agenda
was
for
my
next,
opinion.
to the 2 weeks.
I'm okay with that.
2 weeks isn't gonna hurt.
If it made a difference for the snow season, then yes, but since it doesn't, then it's, it'll be nice pristine for 2017, 18.
Yeah, and I would assume if it would have made a difference snow season, you would have brought it to us first. So you're
That was our
pretty-
goal. We ran out of
Right,
time.
but you're pretty confident that it
Well,
will be fine.
we will probably be pushing the repair numbers again.
Mhm.
And there's a new caveat going into this season, taking on the extra roads that we have. As you can see in the next one, I'm looking to at least, at times, put out 4 big trucks and a small one to cover what we need to cover in a timely manner, so that you can at least make a round in a 12-hour shift. We've taken on quite a bit.
Country Road to the north calls. We have another issue.
But that contract says that once we've completed ours, then she's when available.
Like I said, in concept, it's not a debate of concept, should we do it or not, it's just a time.
Yeah, we can wait 2 weeks. It's
Correct.
not a
And you
problem.
said that there's 2 to do, so the next one you're thinking will be in 2 years or
Year and a half.
Should be in 19.
19?
Right. We'll
Okay,
say
so
with the budget
putting it
process
off
going
to
on.
next
it will
week.
be-
Thank you, Board. I'll put it on the agenda for the 21st. Speaking of snow,
But not here.
next item is to go ahead and move forward with advertising for our on-call road worker for the winter seasonal season. And there's a motion on page 116.
When did we start this program?
Last year.
And it worked well?
To a point, yes.
How many, well, if you're asking to advertise and you want to put how many on?
Well, currently the 2 are returning from last year.
That'd be 2.
I would like to add at least 1 more, doesn't have to be a CDL driver, to be able to give us the flexibility of putting that Ford truck out in the heavy snow.
I'll make a motion to approve to advertise on the township website and social media for on-call road workers for the winter season.
Second,
Mr. Roberts?
yes.
Mr. Crooks?
Yes.
Mrs. Gray?
Thank you, Board. On page 166 is the biweekly report for the road department. Are there any questions? Yeah, that's when you pass all the road chassis and the truck.
The information's interesting to look at.
Actually, we did our public-private partnership, we did our road ride with Country Club of North these last 2 weeks. Kind of gave them some pointers on which direction to go with a couple of the roads, which led into further discussion that will be coming down the road, I have a feeling. Roof the library is completed. We're still working on Bexley Hills 3A. It's like pulling teeth, getting to finish like 4 or 5 things to get it turned over. River Reserve is now under blacktop. And we're working on the road widening and the sewer extension. The sewer extension, I found out this morning, is not going as planned, because they ran into bedrock. So we're basically having to jackhammer it out, clay pipe, we're laying about 60 feet a day, current, to get out.
It's not efficient.
No,
No, not at all.
Are they doing a right out and a right in lane there, as far as, when you say road widening,
to account.
on each front account, yeah.
Everything will be on that south side. That way, OU will end up paying for their half of the road.
They might have to do this celebration in there.
Seems like line of sight there is an issue.
Line of sight is, especially where their temporary construction entrance was,
Like that right there,
Mhm.
yeah.
that is a real bad site. Once you pull out, don't let off the gas.
Who
Fly over there.
approved the access then?
Hmm?
Who approved that?
Green County?
Well, the construction entrance would be on there.
Green County.
At the time, that was the flattest spot in and out. So once they got everything in, it was just coming and going in the morning, in the afternoon.
Someone give me a better definition of what goes on the media day in the truck rodeo.
So, first of all, part of it is a show and tell of the equipment and how it works. You'll also be able to, from what I understand from Mr. Conroe, you'll be able to actually drive one of the vehicles through the course with the plow. And it will also discuss addressing snow mitigation, snow and ice mitigation for both the city and the township. So if there's any questions in regards to routes and why we do these streets first over these streets, they'll be answered by either township staff or city staff, depending on what it is. There is a carry-in lunch, the pork chops are provided by the city, and then whatever else you would like to bring in. So it starts at 10 a.m. at the city. So if you like to drive, with the plow through the cones, we'll make sure we have the video camera. I mean,
I can hear it.
Take extra insurance.
I'm not
Did I miss
gonna
anything?
drive it.
Not legal.
Yeah.
Thank you.
I just have one question. I emailed it to you. You mentioned that the cherry trees were put into the library and where else it was. There was one that died on Phillips Park. Did they?
Yes,
said
that
they-
was replaced.
Okay.
And actually, we replaced one in Fifth Third Park in the city, because one died there also.
Okay.
And instead of the lady from the cherry tree committee digging it up by hand and replanting it, we just had to do it for
Well,
them.
that's good. Good cooperation, and once they start blooming, it really should be beautiful.
I honestly hope they're done with planting trees at the library.
There's not much
many
room
more
to put
places
anymore.
to put trees.
And the library really looks good.
Thank you.
Thank you, Board. Next item is on page 167. That's a purchase request for the SCBA voice amplifiers and replacement parts. The budget justification starts on page 167, section 1. Fire Chief is here to answer any questions.
Yep. Make a motion to approve purchase request 07883 to Finley Fire Equipment for 15 SCBA voice amplifiers and parts for SCBA repair in the amount of $15,252.25, and to authorize the township administrator to sign for the board.
Second.
Mr. Roberts?
Yes.
Mr. Krebs?
Yes.
Mrs. Kraft?
Yes.
Thank you, Board. Next item is the, oh, I'm sorry,
Quick
Vice
question for you,
Chair.
as far as, items that we're surplusing out, are we stockpiling to do a bulk?
Yeah, they generally, there's no set,
No bids.
we need this much before we do it. It's mostly just a workflow thing, so when they feel they have enough to justify going through the process of getting it put on gov deals, that way they can just kind of economize their time.
Have we done one this year? I can't remember.
I think we've done 2 this year. We may have done more than that, I'll double check, but yes, we've done at least one
There's a
this
whole
year.
long list.
Is there any reason we need to do that before the end of the fiscal year, or does it matter if it carries over?
Because we're cash counting, we don't really keep track of liabilities like that, so it doesn't really matter when it happens. At least from a budgeting perspective, and there's not a legal requirement, so it's really just how soon we want stuff out the door.
Okay.
We should have another one this year for, or potentially more equipment this year for the LED project.
hard copies for the board. I've sent out an electronic copy to Mr. Zahiri of the standards of cover document, but I'm not sure if it'll fit on your devices, so just in case.
Thank you.
It looks like the activities went up.
Yeah, we're actually, on a year-to-date basis, we've caught up to last year now, so, again, there's a little bit of variance year to year, so I'm never too worried if we're a little above or below, but we have accelerated our call volume, over the past, 2 months, compared to prior years, so. I don't know if that means anything. It could slow back down again tomorrow, or maybe we'll set a new, department record this year. I doubt that, but, it's possible.
What do you anticipate the, this for medical? 3,500? Oh, 30, almost 4,000.
Yeah, I didn't bring a hard copy of the document, so you'll have to read
Yeah,
it.
that's all right. It's a year, 10-year over year, and I'm assuming that that's about what you're looking for.
Oh, no, it's actually not in this. It's in the biweekly. Thank you.
That's okay. It says, just looking to see the activity. So far, so year-to-date activity is about 4,700. 10-year average is 5,400. So we still have some, couple of months worth.
Yes.
Looking at.
And kudos again, Chief. I love seeing all the community stuff. I really do like seeing
Thank
the
you.
list of everything that we do out there in the public, and I think it's important, and you guys should get on to it.
Well, thank you. And that's actually one of the things that I've been working through with standards of cover. The standards of cover deals strictly with emergency incidents. And so I want to make sure that what doesn't get lost in the wash is all of the non-emergency activity the crews have. There's obviously the public education, public contact aspect. There's the day-to-day maintenance, the work that they do on the facilities, the apparatus. There's all of the training activities that they do. So there's a lot of things that go on that don't get caught in the standards of cover document. And we're looking at a way maybe we can add some of the additional into the bi-weekly so that, again, that you guys get a full picture of what their day-to-day activity really is.
How long does our packet stay up online?
As long as they're there. If you click on the calendar, you'll be able to look at them.
Okay, so if people want to look at what takes place, because I suggested they look at our maps and the Narcon maps, so they are there.
Yeah, I've gone back and looked at past meetings before just to double check a number or something, so.
I don't have any questions, thank you.
Thank you very much.
Board, that's all I have.
Legal advisor,
Nothing at this time.
trustees?
No, just, I had sent another, link, to chief and to administrator on the Stop and Bleed program, so
That has been passed on to our CPR, primary CPR instructor, and he's looking at including it at the high school level. So they'd already been talking about that for CPR, so we're just adding that in that package.
Fiscal office?
I'll make a motion to go into executive session under Ohio Revised Code Section 121.22G1 to consider the employment, dismissal, discipline, and compensation of a public employee, and under Ohio Revised Code Section 121.22G3, conferences with an attorney for the public body concerning disputes involving the public body that are subject of pending or imminent court action.
Second.
Mr. Roberts?
Yes.
Mr. Krebs?
Yes.
Mrs. Kraft?
Yes.
Make a motion to come out of executive session?
Second. At 4:28 PM.
Right.
Mr. Kretz?
Yes.
Mr. Roberts?
Yes.
Ms. Kraft?
Kraft?
Yes.
We've had discussions throughout the year with Mr. Zahariev's goals, and one of those that came out when we went through the balancing of the general fund was to develop a retire and rehire policy. And I'd like to make a motion to authorize township administrator to work with legal and with HR to develop a retire, rehire agreement with the current road superintendent and present that to the board as soon as possible.
Second?
Yeah, any discussion? His preamble, I think covers everything.
Covers
but-
everything in full.
Mr. Kretz?
Yes.
Mr. Roberts?
Yes.
Mrs. Kraft?
Yes.
Make a motion to adjourn?
Second?
Mr. Kretz?
Yes.
Mr. Roberts?
Yes.
Ms. Kraft?
Yes.